Hello everyone, it's Boxcar Benny here. I thought we'd do things a little different this time for a layout update. I'm just going to do this little impromptu video because I've been quite busy doing some little projects. So the first thing I'm going to show you here is the control panel. I know you've seen it all lit up before, but basically all the turnout motors on this panel are all wired and hooked up and ready to go. So then what happens as we move up, we go into this end. This is the south end of Chesley, and I've started to, I'm basically working my way with scenery. So we sneak around here. Just to the right there is Krug Brothers. Basically I call this the receiving end. Now you can see it's still just mocked up, but the other end, which is the shipping end, it's just about done. It needs some weathering and the roof finished, but what I've been doing lately is working on this scenery in here. So in the prototype photos, we've got all kinds of piles of lumber because this is basically a furniture factory, Krug Brothers, and there was piles of lumber everywhere. So I've just started making some up real quick and just kind of placing them in there. So this whole area here will be completely full. So we move down, you can see it also veers off down here, and that's how you get into this loading platform. So the only thing I have to do on these little dirt roads is get the boards in to go across, and they'll just be roughly placed in there. But you can see I've got the rail painted, I've got the track or the ties painted, so I just got to do a little bit of weathering on the track, and then basically it'll be adding a lot of long grasses in here to give it that rough, worn look. See, look down this way, it's starting to take shape. Now the funny thing is, I had the Tichy train group tower, water tower built and complete, and it was right in this position here, but as I was painting all this, me being a bull in the china shop, hit it, knocked it on the floor, knocked some pieces on, so it's over at the workbench to be repaired, but it needed to be painted anyway, so it wasn't a huge deal. Just a bit of glue and a couple of repairs, nothing's broken, just stuff came off because it's a pretty fine, detailed little thing. So I've moved this guy over here, so this guy's sitting here, he's getting in trouble for sitting on the job. There's got a few skids and stuff in there that all get added. And then over here we've got a truck loading or unloading some boxes, or crates I should say. We've got a forklift in here. This stuff's all in here temporarily, I don't know if I'll keep it or not. And we move back here, and this is the new scratch-built stock pens that are going in. Now this is quite a big structure on the prototype, so I've taken it down a little bit. I'm just going to do 4 pens. So we've got 2 pens at the end here, and right here on this end is actually a loading chute which was used by the trucks. And then what will happen is in the middle here we'll have the loading chute for the freight cars. And then on the other end, towards this end, we will have 2 more stock pens, but they actually had roofs on them in the picture, so I'm going to model that. So it should look pretty unique and pretty cool. So as we move down, I believe everyone has seen this section before, but I think maybe just not basically the gravel in the parking lot. So this is the parking lot for the station. So there's the platform for the station, which is yet to be built. I haven't even started that yet, but that's the platform. And so basically I've just got the gravel in, and then I've also started the road to get in there. So it's coming along nicely. I got to add a little bit more because this one I just did grout. I didn't do plaster of Paris underneath. So it just had a little bit of cracking, and just the edges show a little. So I just got to disguise that a little bit. Add the cross bucks. And that will be just about it, complete. A little bit of long grass as usual. And again, this part of the rail has also been painted. So same thing, same stage. It just needs to be weathered and add the grasses. Back here, the fuel dealership, I believe it's about the same, but as well, the gravel road leading into there is also completed. So next step here is basically add a fence out front. That should look pretty cool. And I still got to do the walkways, the wooden walkways on the tanks, and a ladder to get up there and everything. And a little bit more weathering. Then here, as you've seen on another video, this is an elevator. It's like a co-op elevator. So it sat about here behind the station on the prototype, so it's really close to where it would be on the prototype. And then right beside it, this location right here, this is where the Canadian National Freight Shed will be. So that'll probably be something I'm going to do really soon. I just got to order the wood for it, but it shouldn't be too difficult. And back here, as you guys have seen, this scene here is starting to come together. So this is the coal shed and just I don't know if it was a storage shed or what it was, but it's pretty well complete. I still haven't done the back of the roof, but that will be soon. These cars spotted back here, this is for another furniture factory. So this furniture factory is basically going to take up this area. So these cars parked right here, they'll be parked right out front of it. So that's something that I'd like to do sooner than later as well. So basically the parking lot is ready. I've got these streak marks and everything in there from the cars and everything. And basically that road, kind of little roadway right here, goes in behind. And that's the roadway that takes you down here into the fuel dealership. Another thing that hasn't been seen yet is right here. I've started the scenery here, and I've just added some contours. I don't know if you can see them, but just to add a little bit of interest, because this was basically just flat plywood before. So just to add a little bit of detail, and again, as the grasses and bushes start to go in, this is where I've started to do some grasses and bushes. Now this shot here, that should look familiar. That's just how that was left. And there's the switcher right there. That building's just sitting there for now. I don't think it's gonna stay. But the big news is over here. As you look here, this used to be straight. You saw in the last live stream, this was straight. That fascia board went right across. But this is what we're doing. This is the big expansion. So this board, I took it off from, I'll get my hand in here. I took it off from this location over here, and I moved it out. And this is the area where the helix will be. So I've already started. I've got my, that's my template piece right there. It's gonna be a 24-inch radius, which is, you know, that's my minimum on this radio. I know on this railroad. I know it's kind of tight, but I had to do that for the room. And this is the part that I was trying to explain that's hard for people to understand. So basically the helix is going to go up right here where you see it. So just imagine the big circles going up, stacking up. Right in this area, this is still going to be scenic. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to clad the helix with hardboard and paint it so it'll still be scenic. And then basically the track at about this height, at about 12 inches, it's going to sneak out and it's going to come out here into a bridge and around right here. So I've explained that more. I hope that makes more sense now. But it's going to go do that, then go back into the helix and then come up. And then basically the next level will just mirror this. And it will be up. And it'll be about the height of the top of that sky right there. And so basically where I'm pointing the camera right now, right in this area up here, this is where Parkhead will be. So if you can imagine, this track here will basically be going to Wyerton, but in the same spot up top here. And it'll actually poke through the wall and go into my furnace room, and that'll be staging for Wyerton. And I just have a cheap turntable for there, so I think I'll have 3 tracks, and then a turntable to turn the engine around and to come back. So that's it, folks. I'll keep you guys updated on this helix, how it goes. I'm pretty excited about it, so I hope you guys are too. Anyways, thanks so much for tuning in. We'll talk to you later. Stay creative. Happy model railroading. See you later. Bye-bye.